Oh boy, here we go. You read the title. I'm here to talk about if the mimic theory held up now that Ruin's out. Naturally, this means I'm talking about spoilers for the DLC, so I guess out of pure courtesy, I'm gonna say avoid this video if you don't want any spoilers, and to go ahead and play it yourself if you are actually able to first. Of course, if you've been on YouTube at all for like 0.3 seconds, you've probably already seen everyone's videos having the mimic plastered all over their titles and thumbnails anyway, so I guess it's pointless for me to try. Anyway, yeah, I just said the mimic is in the game, right? So the mimic theory was right, yeah? No. Now I know you're about to freak out at me, but here's the deal. Yeah, the mimic was in the game, the main antagonist of the DLC even, but here's the problem. The mimic theory was specifically about the fact that the mimic was glitch trap, burn trap, and whatever other transformations out of a desire to become William Afton. However, there have always been issues with this, even before Ruin came out. People claim the mimic wants to kill and hides in suits because it witnessed the missing children's incident, which is wrong for so many reasons. Not only was the mimic created well after that time period, but the mimic itself in the Tiger Rock story stated that it learned hide and seek, as in actual hide and seek. Not to mention we've gotten a couple of pages in the epilogue from the mimic's point of view, and at no point does it consider doing things because it wants to simulate or become William. It attacks people because of a combination of mimicking the incident where its actual creator attacked it, and the fact that its programming is to tear apart endoskeletons and it thinks humans are endos. However, even if you don't believe me on any of that, I still want to go over various characters and events that offer my 2 cents on whether or not they support the mimic theory. Now, before we actually dive into the mimic itself, there's something else I want to go over first that is related to the mimic. That being the entity. The reason the entity is related is because it seems to be an extension of the Mexis security system that was designed to keep the mimic captive underground so it wouldn't be able to kill anyone. However, as you would imagine, I also have some issues with this. First of all, there are multiple instances where it is stated that the entity hijacked into the security system and its protocols, something it shouldn't have to do if it is already an extension of that system. But if it's not an extension of the system, then what is it? Well, due to things like glitch trap imagery around Vanny's hideout being visible through the same Vanny network the Mexis system runs on, a tunnel plummeting towards the entity itself just before reaching that same location, as well as the entity's overall creepy and aggressive mannerisms towards Cassie, despite the fact that her mask registered her as a Class 5 technician to the network, I think what might be going on here is that the entity is actually some evolution of Glitch Trap, a being originally known as the Anomaly, that has attached itself to the Mexis system as a last-ditch effort to stay alive and active. And the reason it tries to stop Cassie from reaching the Mexis machine is not because it's doing what the actual security system is designed for, but because shutting off the machine, as we see in game, results in it getting trapped due to shutting off the system that it attached itself to. Now, of course, under the hypothetical situation where this is true, and we also assume that Glitch Trap was the mimic like the theory states, then that would mean the mimic infected the security system. And if that's the case, why not just shut the damn thing off? Even if it can't do that on its own, then why go out of the way to stop Cassie from reaching the pizza place, the only thing it specifically needs her to do? Now, if we decide to reject the idea that Glitch Trap may actually be the entity, then I guess I don't know. I suppose Glitchtrap as a being is just actually gone, fully quarantined and vanquished. However, even then, if it was the Mimic while it was actually active, then that would mean the Mimic would also be Burntrap. And I also have some things to say about that. I know what a lot of people are probably thinking. The Mimic had to have been Burntrap because they have pieces that look alike. Saying that kind of thing with overlapping renders on top of each other to compare them. But the problem here is the exact opposite side of that point, in that the Mimic has an equal amount of parts, if not more, that are way too drastically different than Burntrap's parts. Even then, the whole point of the Mimic theory is that it was Glitchtrap and Burntrap because it wants to be William. So why would it shed its Burntrap form and instead be a regular Endo, or hell, even go as far as to wear some random nobody costume instead in the secret ending? And then there's the fact that if the Mimic was Burntrap, it would have had stairs leading out of the pizza place right there. So for what reason would it have gone even deeper underground between the main game and the DLC if the whole point is that it wants to get out so it can kill people? And don't get me wrong from all this ranting, I'm open to having the Mimic as a game character, a villain, whatever, but am I seriously the only person in the world who sees the mountain of problems this whole idea of Mimic is William has? It's just a cycle of gratuitous and utterly moronic self-sabotage. And I repeat, we've literally gotten the Mimic's POV in the books now, and nothing about its thought process involved copying William at all. Of course, if I'm being realistic, I doubt this video will change people's minds. Hell, I doubt it'll even get seen much at all, period. But I still wanted to give my thoughts on the whole ordeal. And I have done that, so I guess that's really the end. Anyway, see ya.